If you guys are asking yourself, well, how do you train your team? What do you do? Ask the question in the comments below. One of the things that I did, obviously, you guys know I'm a mentor, I'm a coach. I share it in my stories. There's no shortage of content that's speaking about what I do. How I did it was I first created my program for my team to take. So I wanted them all to get involved in it. Now, whether they enjoyed it or not, it's on them, right? I have independent stylists. So it's my job to teach them how to become independent stylists, how to attract clientele, how to keep clientele, how to speak to clientele, how to build a book, how to handle their finances, how to handle budgeting, how to run ads. If you could build a team of people who are self sufficient and don't need you, that's an awesome place to work. That's an awesome salon to run. When I talk to different salon owners, and one of the things they want to do is sell their salon because they're getting burnt out, it's because they hit the complexity ceiling, right? The business got too complex. They hit that wall. Now, there's a constraint in the business, and they have to be able to figure out how to get through that constraint. There's something called the theory of constraints. If you want to Google it, go look it up. But beyond the theory of constraints, there's something that happens to entrepreneurs and salon owners when they hit a certain level of business and they get burnt out, they get exhausted, and they just don't know what to do. And I compare this to anyone who's ever ran a marathon before. They call it at the 18th mile, it's like the block or the wall, the 18-mile wall. I don't run marathons, so I'm not that privy to this information, but I did just listen to a call this morning and they were talking about this. And I related it to business. Like there comes a time in your career as a salon owner that you just get burnt out. Like you put in the work, you're doing all the clients. If you don't show up, you don't make money. There's no profit in the business. And it's because you're not building the team. So take a look at everything you've ever done and put it down on either paper or Google Doc or some kind of curriculum so you can start teaching it to your team and then they don't need you anymore. And then you can take the vacation and still be profitable. Like salon owners want to sell their salon, but there's nothing to sell because if you don't come along with it, the salon's worth nothing. So you have to build the team so you could pass the salon off to somebody else and they could buy it and it's turnkey. It's worth something. It's valuable. But here's the magical part. If you build a salon that you can sell, it's a much better salon to own. So you probably won't want to sell it at that point. So anything you do when it comes to ownership, do it with the intention of being able to sell it. And that means you being removed from the equation. The salon should run completely efficiently without you. And I would say 99% of salons don't run like that. It's just a fact. They don't. Mine never did. Mine still need a little input from me. Like there's multiple locations that one needs more work than the other. And I think part of the reason why I have multiple locations is to learn from each one so I can, really pour into lives like this and I can pour into my team because there's so much that goes on a day-to-day basis and each one's different. Like there's something called the 5 levels of leadership that if you're a salon owner, you should definitely check that book out. It's by John Maxwell. And each one of your salons independently, they're at different phases. Like some of my team members down in Florida, I'm not at a level 5 or a level 4 because I'm not really there as much. That will be Jenny, right? The owner down there, my partner. And then some of the team members in Chatham, I'm not there with. Some of them I am. In my own salon, the one I've really spent most of my time in, I'm at that level of leadership. But as I stepped away from the business, I go down a little bit. Like I'm not pouring into them as much. So I have to show a little more presence in my salons. And I'm not perfect. I'm learning as I go along too. I never knew what it was like to run 5 salons before. Now I'm learning. So running one salon's easy. And so what I like to do to myself is I like to make things difficult for myself so I can learn. I make things hard. I put pressure on myself to become a better owner, a better leader. And so if you're an owner, and let's say you're in a 5-chair salon, I'll give you a really good scenario right now. It's you and 4 other people, and your guys are rocking and rolling. You're doing good. But then you want to grow and scale. So you think, what are you going to do? I'm going to go open up a new location or I'm going to expand. And so you take on a bigger lease, you take on a bigger location, and now you have bigger problems, but yet you're not ready to do that yet. You didn't raise your leadership skills. You didn't raise your conversation skills, raise your business acumen yet. And so when you go into the bigger location, you almost fall flat on your face. You were better off in the smaller location because you were more profitable and you don't know what it's like to run a 15-chair salon. You were great at a 4 or 5-chair salon. What you should try is instead of expanding the salon or getting a bigger one or a second location, maximize that current location to its fullest potential. What I would do is I would take the 5 or 4 stations that you have and I would do a split schedule. I would do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday crew and a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday crew. I would extend the hours for each day for each one of my stylists, and I would master the art of recruiting. So now I would have 8 people working in my salon, let's say, where I could only really fit 4 because of the way the schedule was. They have 1 day on, 1 day off each, but they're all booking the same amount of money. So instead of doing, 20,000 a week out of that salon, you could potentially be doing 40,000 a week out of that salon with no more overhead, right? Isn't that amazing? So, but if you don't have the skills to do that, then you don't have the skills to go open a bigger location. So I would try that first to keep your overhead down and manageable. So before you take that next step, ask yourself, are you ready for it? Do you have systems in place where you're training people to deliver on the services that you deliver on the way you deliver them? And if you don't deliver services, if your retention rate as an owner isn't like above 85%, take a look at yourself, take a look at your services, take a look at how you handle yourself as a stylist and fix it. Because how you show up as a stylist is how your team's going to show up. So if you're seeing inadequacies in your team, it's because you're inadequate as a leader and you're not able to pass on those skills to your team.